Alright guys, so in today's video, I am going to be doing my makeup and answering your questions. So we're gonna do a little get ready with me kind of Q&A thing. Basically what I wear in all my videos, anytime you see me take in my photos, whatever. I know I'm not a makeup channel, but I've been requested so much to do this, and it's kind of difficult for me to be like, okay, I'll film my makeup because I like to focus more on inner beauty in my channel. Some of you are here from the days I was actually a beauty channel way back then. I've been around YouTube for a while now. Sit back, relax, get some water, get some smoothie, coffee, whatever, and let's talk. I don't want this video to be super long. I've got a lot of great questions today. So first I'm gonna start off by prepping my face. Now I use my mom's signature rose water love potion tonic for the skin. My mom makes this herself from organic roses and it's amazing. It's basically why my skin is so clear. I suffer from under eye circles and redness and things like that, but this has improved my skin vastly. So always give your skin a good spritz. And this is infused with lavender as well, lavender seeds, not lavender oil, because that is not good for the skin. So yeah, this is my magic potion and I always use this all the time. And then after I let that dry, I go into foundation. I'm going to use the Josie Maran Vibrancy foundation in Mystical. This one is not my exact shade. It's a little light for me, but I work with it. I also use the shade Electric. This one is vegan and cruelty-free with argan oil. Wonderful for dry or normal skin like mine. And it leaves a nice, beautiful, dewy finish. It's medium coverage. And I use the Real Techniques. I believe this is their foundation brush. I've had this for centuries. So first question, how do you handle working at home? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, working at home is really, really tough for me because when you do work for yourself, you don't have anyone telling you what to do. And especially if you go from like a place, a normal 9 to 5 where you have a schedule, it's really tough to set your own schedule because you're like, well, I can do whatever I want. So it is tough for me, but what I make sure I do is that I create a to-do list from the night before. Like on a Sunday night, I'll create a to-do list for Monday. And if I don't get through something, I will, I always bring it down the neck. I will bring it on to the next day. But I also make sure to give myself freedom because I didn't start working for myself to work a strict 9 to 5 schedule, to be quite honest. And I did suffer from burnout a bit earlier this year, which is why, you know, I kind of slowed down on YouTube a bit because YouTube is not the only thing that I do. I do other things on the side, which I might make a video on as well. But I do podcasting, I do YouTube, I do coaching, amongst other things. So I have to make sure that I am planning out and being disciplined while also giving myself free time and freedom to travel, to be with family and friends and leisure. I used to be all about work, 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 and then I realized it was burning me out. So I had to take it easy, which is why I've kind of been a little bit easier on myself this year, especially since I went through some stuff at the beginning of the year. So that taught me a lot about work-life balance. To learn to say no, that's something that I really had to get in the habit of, is learning to say no to people when I had to be productive. So now I'm gonna go on to concealer, and I always use the Tarte Shape Tape. My shade is light medium. I love this stuff. I'm actually almost out of it. I don't waste any makeup. I'm super, super conscious of making sure that I use everything up. Next question, this is a great question. What is the best piece of advice an older woman ever gave you? You know, I do talk a lot with older women. I am very conscious of having friends that are of all ages because I believe that we can learn the most, not from books, but from experiences and from other people, from advice. I'm very close to my mom these days. I wasn't, you know, in my early 20s, I used to fight with my mom all the time, but now I'm very close with her. And I go to her for advice a lot. And they say, don't settle, you have time, you have more time than you think. Don't rush through your youth. And I'm just doing like this triangle here because I do have dark circles, but I don't really use too much. I used to be really overboard. Older women tell me, don't waste your youth being insecure, waste your youth on chasing things, chasing relationships, chasing people. Work on your goals, work on yourself. Basically the stuff I teach in my videos. Also, I have an aunt who one time she told me, Isabel, be sure that you have lots and lots of boyfriends. I don't know if I've really taken that advice too much because I don't like to spend my time too much on dating. I think it's good advice to date a lot of people and not like fall in love dating, but meet different people, figure out what you like. I totally forgot to do my eyebrows. I have a little bit of hairs down here, but It's okay. I don't get my eyebrows professionally done, by the way. I used to get them threaded, and the threading lady made my shape super beautiful, but she made them too thin many times. But she helped even out my brows because this brow was a lot thinner than this one. They're pretty even now. So all I do is just take a little bit of tweezers and just tweeze the bottoms. I'm very low maintenance in general when it comes to beauty and makeup and hair and all that. So I just tap this away, quick motions. I don't pull at the skin. That's probably the best advice. Don't let your age hold you back in anything you do, whether you think you're too young or too old. You're never too old to start something new or too young to try something new. I use this kind of taupey grayish color. I don't use anything too dark or too light. And I'm using this brush set. My sister-in-law gave it to me, Neiman Marcus brush set. I use this angled brush to do my brows. Next question, best ways to deal with insecurities in a relationship. By the way, guys, I only really outline the outer part of my brow. I don't like super bold brows. Sometimes I don't even fill in my brows. I just run some brow gel through them. This is what I would do if I were to film a video. So I just literally shape the outer edge where I have sparse areas. So insecurities in relationships. I found that in my last relationships, a lot of problems arise because I was bringing in my own insecurities into something. So I would recommend that you get really clear on what these insecurities are, where they stem from, either through journaling, meditate on them, take time, 15 minutes to meditate on them, and also talk with your partner. If you have insecurities about something, if you were hurt in the past by somebody or you have trauma or whatever, be open with your partner about these things so that they know where they come from and they'll know that it's not necessarily about them. It's important that we heal separate from our partner so that we don't bleed on people who didn't cut us. So go to therapy, talk with your friends as well. Be really specific, be open and vulnerable with your friends, with people who maybe could give you good advice, older people as well. And I'm gonna use some Anastasia brow gel here. I always brush the front pieces up and then these other pieces to the side. If we don't verbalize what we're feeling, if we don't verbalize these insecurities, they're just gonna stay in there and they're going to manifest in different ways. So in arguments and jealousy and things like that, toxicity. So insecurities, yeah, we all have them, but the problem is that they turn into toxic behaviors. Be honest with yourself. Where are these coming from? Love is a beautiful thing. Relationships are a beautiful thing, but we can't cease to stop working on ourselves just because we are in a relationship now, we are in love with somebody else. We should always keep our own mental health as well in the forefront. And if your partner is doing stuff that is creating insecurity, that's definitely a conversation you need to have, because then it will just spiral out of control. And I'm gonna take this Anastasia Brunette tinted brow gel, and I like this because it kind of lightens the brows just a bit. I used to use this when I was blonde, and I just like the tint that it gives. It makes the brows less harsh. So that's basically the brows, very simple and easy. After I do the brows, I go in with this Tarte, and this is like the tester size, the Tarte Luminous Dewy Skin Mist, because like I said, I love dewy skin, and I always do this after all this. So what makes you feel confident? Working on my goals, something that makes me passionate, that makes me confident. Also helping people, that makes me more confident than anything. You know, we're not just on earth here for ourselves, we're here to also help others. And I help people because I realize that a lot of people are hurting out there, and to be able to make changes in people's lives, for somebody to tell me, hey, you helped me in this way, you helped me see the situation like this, it's something so fulfilling that I can't even describe, which is why I love doing what I do here on YouTube, even though I really don't have to be on YouTube. But I also feel like my confidence comes from being grounded in who I am and honoring who I am, my true self, my femininity. That's why I made that video on goddess energy, which a lot of you guys loved. I was so surprised. I just felt the need to talk about it. I think just speaking my truth is what gives me confidence. Allowing myself to express myself, my true self, is what gives me confidence. And we're all born confident. It's just about allowing yourself to express who you are within. And of course, accepting the fact that not everyone's gonna like that. This is a little tester as well, a Kat Von D setting powder. It's translucent. I just take some of this on a Neiman Marcus face brush, very lightly. I don't, like I said, I like more of a healthy, natural looking face, not too over the top. So I just powder like here, you know, where I talk a lot. I like it to look more matte. I like it to look smooth, because ever since I was young, I get like all these little dimples and stuff when I talk, or when I laugh, or when I cry. I'm not a big fan of that. I powder along the nose bridge because I am going to contour that, which by the way, I've never had a nose job. I just have learned how to contour my nose. And then up here a little bit, just to kind of blot out carefully any of this. So how to have faith and stay in the present moment when things fall into place. It's about realizing that our ego keeps us in fear, and we don't have to get rid of the ego. We don't have to get rid of anything about us. The ego is important for survival, but it's also realizing that we have to be more than our ego. We are consciousness. We are all connected through consciousness. So when you meditate, when you focus on staying present and repeating mantras to yourself, such as I am consciousness, I am aware, I am connected, the universe works through me, then you realize that life is not happening to you, it's happening for you, which I'm gonna go into the Shade and Light palette with Kat Von D, and I'm going to set my eyelids with the lightest shade here. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette, I love it. This is the only eyeshadow palette I use. My sister-in-law gave it to me, she's amazing. What helps me stay, patient and present and happy is I spend a lot of time meditating. I spend a lot of time reading, spend a lot of time taking life slowly because I was rushing through life. I was rushing past everything. I do everything with, being conscious of what I do. And I realized that each day is a gift. As cliche as it may sound, each day is important, even if it wasn't a good day. We have to learn from our mistakes, learn from the experiences, not judging our experiences or ourselves, always constantly learning. The ego is a teacher. The only eyeshadow brush I really use, this is the Morphe M441. I love it. It's like a fluffy blending brush. And I'm gonna take this peachy color. So you guys know I live by the mantra, everything is rigged in your favor. And I don't say that because I think that I'm like, controlling, which, you could argue, we are controlling everything basically through our consciousness, but it's not because I believe I'm always gonna win or whatever. I just believe that everything, good or bad, what is quote unquote good or bad, because again, that's our ego that wants to label and judge everything either good or bad. I believe that every experience that I have is ultimately leading me to a better place in my life, that every setback, every heartbreak, every breakup, every experience, every good thing as well is adding up in my favor because I'm getting wiser, I'm getting more experience, I'm learning more about life and myself, and that's why I make my videos, because I like to teach, I like to talk about these things. So it's all about living as if everything's rigged in your favor and you keep going despite the setbacks. The universe doesn't know time or space or any limits. The universe is vast. And understanding this, that it's our human brain, our ego, that's keeping us here in fear and in scarcity and lack and feeling like time is running out. And it's not really us, it's society that's trying to make us feel like we're behind or we have to be in a rush. Then you start to kind of trust and go with the flow. I think it's important to just go with the flow of life, to act naturally, enjoy life, guys. I think that goes without saying. We need to enjoy life more. Doesn't always just have to be go, 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 and understanding that we don't have a set timeline, that we all have different timelines. We all have different times we're gonna die, and different moments in our life and different experiences. And it's about not judging your life or where it is now according to what other people say or do or other people's timelines. It's about being true to your own timeline and also being patient with yourself, because even people who think they have it all figured out at a certain age don't. Nobody has it all figured out. How to get back with an ex when both of us have high egos. We both still love each other. If you both still love each other, I would recommend that you manifest them back. You can use the law of attraction, or you can just be open and vulnerable to them. And if they express that they don't want to be with you and they're still in their ego, I would suggest you just move on, because the thing is, when you chase someone or something, by chasing I mean always feeling like you're in lack, you want them so bad and you're not living your life for you, you're living your life according to whether somebody's in your life or not. When you stop doing that, it's like everything comes to you. You become an attractor. So focus on working on your ego. We're all connected through the same consciousness. It will be scary. They might reject you. They might still be in their ego, but that's okay. Work on your ego, work on yourself. And I truly believe that two people are meant to be together. They're the right ones. Nothing, and I mean nothing, will stop them from being together. Even if it's not right now, in a month or 6 months, whatever, I trust that it will happen. Just enjoy your life, live your life, and work on yourself. So I'm just taking this kind of warm brown here on the edge of the palette. It's called Latinus. And I'm just gonna take this kind of tapered blending brush and just kind of bring this here. I usually don't do this, but This is kind of more like my fall look, I would say. And this kind of brings a little bit more of a cat shape to the eye. So I just kind of do this little outer V thing here, softly, not too heavy. The trick to nice makeup is blending. Blend
and blend and blend. Blending is the secret.
How to deal with fear and how to strengthen your faith. Again, fear is from the ego. The ego is what likes to judge everything as bad or good, negative, positive. One thing I have found myself doing is I imagine like the worst case scenario. If I feel like my anxiety is getting the best of me or I'm afraid to do something, I just think, what's the worst that could happen? I think about it, I really get in the moment, and then I realize, wait, it's not as bad as it seems. Go towards what you fear, guys. That is the biggest thing. Don't hide from what you fear. Usually when you fear something, it means that there's going to be a lot of growth coming from it. There's going to be a lot of experience. And when you take risks and go for what you fear, yes, there is a chance you're gonna fail. There's a chance something could happen. There's big chances you're gonna fail. But what if it all works out? Turn it around that way. What if it all works out? What if it was just my mind? You know, and it usually is just your mind. The mind loves, the ego loves to make problems and things seem way bigger than they actually are. I'm just blending here with the same Morphe brush here. Prayer also helps a lot. I've recently gotten back into praying. I used to not pray so much, but I find that it's very comforting, and I find that now I feel very guided in everything that I do. Either pray to get rid of the fear, or pray to be grateful, or pray that you get discernment to make the right decisions in your life. What is your opinion about tarot reading? So I don't really have a negative or positive opinion on tarot. I'm still looking at it, and I don't have any tarot cards. I don't do my own readings at all. I have found tarot readers that are super accurate. I mean, they just pick up everything. But I don't think we should base our entire life or all our decisions or everything on tarot. It does help if you are feeling lost, if you just want a direction or a sign. Tarot readers also are human as well, and if they have any blockages or anything, it could also block you. So just be wary of that. Just be cautious. That's all I'm saying. Why is letting go so difficult? So I'm just going through here, guys, I kind of always do this to my skin. I like my skin to look like skin, not like I have product on. So now I'm going to curl my lashes because my lashes are naturally thick straight. Why is letting go so difficult? Because the ego, like I said, likes to live in attachment and to fear. We fear that if we let go, we won't find something better, that was like the end all and be all, that will be hurt. When you realize that life is really up to you, up to what you want. If you want something, the universe will conspire in your favor for having it. It's hard for us to let go because the mind automatically goes towards what's familiar, what's comfortable. And if you've been in a long-term relationship or in a job for a long time, it's hard to let go because you're comfortable, you're familiar. Actually, it took a spiritual advisor on Keen to tell me, hey, this relationship is blocking you, and that's what finally gave me, it was like, this is a sign from above that I need to let go and move on. How do I set boundaries? Well, get really clear on your non-negotiables. Get really clear on your standards and know that everyone should have boundaries. It's not being selfish, it's not being mean. Taking care of yourself, it's self-love to set boundaries. I'm going to go into eyeliner now, curled my lashes, and I'm going to apply, this is the NYX Professional Makeup Epic Ink Liner. I hope it's okay because I recently traveled and it exploded. Things that people do bother you and you're not okay with it, or you feel like you have allowed people to step all over you, make the conscious decision, the intention, that you're not going to allow somebody who treats you this certain way, somebody who invalidates your feelings, and learning to say no to situations or people or anything that you know is not okay for you, for your mental health. Most of all, it's not about being selfish at all. We have to take care of our mental health, guys. So I'm just, basically my eyeliner, just do a little flick like that, little line, and then I bring it in. And I usually like to keep it nice and not too over the top. And if I want it a little thicker, I'll bring it in again. And then just kind of fill in. I find that doing the flick first gives me more of that vintage look, not too over the top. Drag the line to the end of my eyebrow, bring it back in like a triangle, and then I just fill in the triangle. All about practice. I've been doing eyeliner since This cat eye flick, I've been doing it since I was like 15, 16 years old. What's key about eyeliner, guys, is that you can always go back in and add more. So always be very conservative as you make your little flicks. What's my height? I am 5'5", pretty average height. How to keep a positive mindset during job search or rejection. So set the intention whenever you go in, and I'm just letting my eyeliner wings dry. Whenever you go in for an interview or you submit the application, set the intention that this will get you closer to your job. You can also manifest, focus on manifesting the job for you. You can go to job interviews and do all of that while you're searching for a job or you're manifesting a job. But set the intention, what exactly do you want? Do you want this kind of pay? Do you want a job in this location with this kind of boss, with this kind of team? Get really specific and visualize yourself already in the end result of what you want. So I would highly recommend you guys check out Neville Goddard. I talk about him all the time. And his key is to visualize before bed, creating a short scene, 10-second scene in your head and repeating it until you fall asleep. A really detailed in first-person scene. So have yourself already working there. Maybe you'll be having lunch with some coworkers, or you're sitting at your desk and taking a client call, whatever it may be, but visualizing yourself already in the end result of what you want and being as specific as you like, as specific as possible, I would say. The fear and the worry, it's natural because you care. It's not so much about fighting the fear and the worry or fighting, worry. Obviously, we all need a job. We need to sustain ourselves somehow. But also know that we live in an infinite universe. The only limit exists in your mind, exists in your in the way you decide to see things, in your awareness through the ego. So know that the job for you is out there. And if you're rejected from a job, it's because that's not the job for you. That there's a better opportunity out there, and that's in the whole live as if everything's rigged in your favor mantra. Believe that every rejection, every no that you receive is for your greatest good. And it's not that you're not good enough or that you suck or any of that. Don't let your job search or the fact that you don't have a job determine your self-worth. Your self-worth, like I've told you guys, does not come from a job, does not come from a degree, does not come from your financial situation. It comes from within. So realize your worth, realize you deserve a certain job. You have your experiences, your qualifications, your degrees, whatever you have on your resume, and you are what companies are looking for. Start changing your dialogue. Say, I am what these employers are looking for. I don't need their job, they need me. I bring a lot more to the table. So that's what it's about. And like I said, we've all gotten rejected. Even the best of the best have gotten rejected from jobs at one point, from school. So it's about continuing the search, setting the intention every time you put in a resume. This is going to help you get closer to your real job. I'm gonna go in with my mascara. Essence I Love Extreme Volume Mascara. This is waterproof. I only use waterproof. How to motivate yourself. I believe motivation is garbage. There's a video on that actually by one of my favorite self-help people in the world, Mel Robbins. I will link it down below, called Why Motivation is Garbage. I suggest you watch it. Also, be really clear on what you want to accomplish. Be really clear on your goals. And I think what's more important than motivation is discipline. Telling yourself, okay, today I'm going to work on this. I'm going to set an alarm, I'm gonna wake up early, and I'm just gonna get it done. Because once you get started, that's going to lead you towards finishing it, to reaching that goal, to having success. So as long as you get started, that's all you need to focus on. And set positive intentions. When you start a new project or a new venture comes along, or you have to get something done, set the intention that you're going to be focused, that this is aligning in your favor, and that you're working through this. Think of how amazing and rewarding it will feel once you're done. Think of how amazing it will feel to have this accomplished, whatever it may be. Don't look for motivation, because motivation lasts for only a second. Motivation, it makes you feel good for a while, but it doesn't last. Figure out your why. Why do you need to get this done? Why do you have to do this? Oh, I want to make more money. Okay, thing is that when you're hungry, you'll do anything to survive. So if you're comfortable, if you're too comfortable in life, you're not going to go after the things that you really want, because the ego, like I said, keeps us back in fear. And you are not your ego. You are not, yes, we are human, but we can transcend a lot of these things. So check out that video, it really helps you. How to avoid your lips getting dry with lipsticks. I've applied Carmex, but it doesn't work. Make sure that you exfoliate. I try not to lick my lips so much because that dries out your lips a ton. Coconut oil helps a lot, moisturizing a lot at night. Drinking a ton of water. I drink a lot of water because my skin can tend to get dry. So this keep hydrated. It's amazing. Try not to use hot water when you wash your face or you take a shower. Carmex is not my ideal moisturizer. I would say go for something like, I use vegan lip balms, which don't have any beeswax. EOS lip balms, those tend to dry out your lips as well. I've seen that happen to a lot of people. So just use coconut oil, moisturize a lot before bed, drink lots of water, stay away from hot water, and that will help a lot. All right, so I'm gonna go into my eyelashes. I love the Kiss number 11s. They come in these multi-packs, which I love. And I always reuse my lashes as much as I can. So these are reused. And I use the dark glue. I have white glue, but it sucks. So I use the dark black glue and I just wait for it to get tacky and then I just put it on. And I love fake lashes. I know everyone's like, why do you wear fake lashes? But I like them. They make my eyes look bigger. It's just my vibe. What's my favorite non-physical attribute about yourself? This is a great question. I would say my favorite non-physical attribute is the hope that I have. I think the hope and the optimism that I naturally have, even though I'm not hopeful and happy all the time by any means, I'm not always positive, but I do keep going. And even when I was going through a really tough depression, it was always this little voice inside my head that kept telling me to keep going. And I don't know what it stems from. I like to believe it's my angels or my ancestors or, you know, somebody protecting me, God, but I've always had that within me, that keep going, keep fighting. I've always had a lot of fight in me, a lot of fire. I have a lot of passion within me. And I think because I have dealt with people in the past, a lot of negativity, a lot of people trying to bring me down, and I think, you know, I'm not on earth to be brought down by anyone. So I would say it is my strength, even though I am in tune with my emotions and I tend to express my emotions. I cry. Strength that nobody really expects from me. I think that's my favorite attribute about myself. Have you ever watched a movie that completely changed your way of thinking? Love you. Yes. Interstellar definitely did. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I love that movie. I think a lot of the Batman movies did that for me with the Christian Bale, the Christopher Nolan ones. Also the Rocky movies I love. They're just so motivational, inspirational. Any movie with an underdog that overcomes adversity is basically what I'm all about. I've always been the underdog all my life. Did you know about the law of attraction when I was a teenager? No, I didn't, but I unwillingly, and I talked about this in one of my older videos. The first law of attraction video I've done is that me and my sister used to use the law of attraction. We used to think about people or think about things and they'd show up, and we used to think we were witches, that we had power. So I used it without really knowing what it was. And then it wasn't until college where I found The Secret, the movie, which that's a movie that's changed me as well. I think it's on Netflix. That's kind of where it all began. But I've always been aware that we can shape our reality or shape other people's thoughts and reality, which is kind of crazy. What to do when you're with someone who isn't spiritual and a heavy meat eater? Everyone is us pushed out, which is something that was hard for me to grasp for a while because I was like so much in the ego. But as I've transcended the ego, hardship will help you transcend the ego. Hard times will help you transcend the ego because it will break it down. But living through example is important, and also not chastising them for not eating meat. I have people in my family who eat meat still. You know, the men in my family, they eat meat still. When you try to force people, they, you know, step back. So lead by example. Work on yourself and you'll see that the people in the relationships around you will get better as well. And also have the talk with them. Say, listen, this is important to me. My spirituality is important and I want us to grow together and learn together. And hopefully your partner will understand that and will try to make changes, at least try to accommodate you. Nagging and forcing people, doing things, it's not gonna work. Try to be helpful because understand that not everyone sees the world the way you do. How to control what you react to. So this is a choice. I'm gonna take some mascara and just lightly coat the bottom lashes. It's important that you are conscious of what is worthy of your reaction and what isn't worthy of your reaction. And also understand that there's some things that we simply shouldn't even try to control. Even though we could change or alter a situation, it just is too draining. Like other people, what other people say, we can't really control what other people say or do or think, but we can control if we're gonna give it energy or give it our reaction. Just say, is this actually important in the grand scheme of things? Does this actually warrant my sweet, special energy? Does this actually warrant a reaction out of me? If it's not gonna matter in a day or in a year or in 5 years, don't. It's just about deciding what's important to you. And I'm just taking a little bit of powder underneath so that I won't get too much mascara under my eye. But I usually don't like to powder my under eye because I do have creases and fine lines, and I don't like to accentuate them, but I find that this powder is pretty good. So now on to contour. I use this old contour palette. I use the Anastasia Beverly Hills light to medium contour. I use this one and this one for my nose contour, which is like the cool tone brown. I use that just on my nose, and then I use this one on the rest of my face. So this is how I'm gonna warm up the face. So what is my preferred method of working out? I love to lift weights. Gives it more of the shape that I like. It makes me feel strong. I love just being fired up in the gym. And I also love the Stairmaster. I'm not a yoga kind of girl. I'm not like, you know, Pilates. I love the Stairmaster. I was an athlete, you know, growing up, so I love this sweating and working hard. I feel that I really get into my power when I do so, feel connected to my body, and I love that feeling of feeling my muscles growing. And it's not so much for aesthetics, even though that is a great effect of working out is aesthetics, but I do it more so for that feeling of strength. So I'm taking this brush, it's kind of like it is a contour brush actually, and I just go, I pat it. I pat this like this to blend. I don't move or swirl because since my foundation is quite dewy, it's not matte, I don't want to disturb it. So I just take a line like this. I have quite chubby cheeks, so I do this to shape my face a bit. This slims the face. So I kind of do like a 3. So I bring it down kind of over here as well. And I just dab until it's nice and blended. And then I take some up here, the temple, and up on the forehead as well. Very lightly. Kind of take the excess onto the forehead because you don't want it to look like you have an actual line on your forehead. Just a little shading there. My photos are so beautiful, thank you. What is my camera? So I use, this one is the Canon G7X, and then the one I take a lot of pictures on this one. It gives you really beautiful, it, you know, even smooths the skin a bit. And I also use my Canon T5i, which is ancient, but it takes very nice photos still. And I use Visco, not a Visco girl. Use Visco to edit them. I value your opinion, thank you. I find myself never beautiful enough, need help changing this belief. Understand that a lot of these beliefs come from other people, from other circumstances, from your bad experiences. So try to get introspective with yourself. Where did this come from? Is this what you truly believe about yourself? Because yes, a lot of us do have insecurities. What's important is to realize that we are so much more than our outer beauty. We're so much more than this, and I know I'm saying this as I'm putting on a full face of makeup, but I just enjoy makeup. It's kind of therapeutic for me. Realize that your beauty comes from within, from how you treat people, from how you speak about yourself. Don't speak to yourself negatively. Your inner dialogue is so important. Now I'm just going back in and just kind of adding a little bit more powder just to mattify the skin a bit. So know that it's just society that's telling you you're not beautiful, because you within yourself, you love yourself. You are perfectly aligned. There's nothing wrong with you, but you have to let go of the notion that your beauty is external. It's actually internal. And as you focus on self-love, on speaking positively about yourself, to yourself, in front of other people, focus on loving your body as it is, focus on loving your face as it is, not trying to change it, not trying to fit somebody else's standards of beauty, and just owning what makes you different and being unapologetic about yourself, you know? Some people are going to find us irresistible, some are gonna find us repulsive. So don't put your beauty in external things or in external opinions. We put so much value in what people think of us, and that's what's gonna kill you. You know, that kills self-esteem, that kills self-love, is putting too much value in what others are gonna say. I'm contouring my nose here, so I'm just taking this tiny little brush and I'm using this powder. Even if you're not conventionally beautiful, being conventionally beautiful is not the end all and be all. There are people who are beautiful physically, they have it all, whatever, and they're not happy still, because that doesn't bring happiness and fulfillment. So focus on loving yourself as you are within, your flaws, your weaknesses, and shutting out the outside world and focusing on your inner world. Positive affirmations are so important. I also have a video on limiting beliefs, and that should help you a lot. And just owning what makes you different, because that confidence, that self-love is what translates as beauty outwardly, not so much the physical. And there are people who, they're physically beautiful, and then they start to talk, or you get to know them, and they become unattractive because their inner beauty is not there. They don't have love, care, and compassion. So accept your flaws, own your flaws, look at yourself naked all the time. I know this is kind of funny, but seriously, get comfortable with your body the way it is right now, your face without makeup. Don't apologize for your face. Don't apologize. Just allow yourself to be, allow yourself to express yourself, and you'll find the beauty in that. And also seek the beauty out in other people, not to compete with others, not to tear anyone down or say, oh, she's so beautiful, it means I'm a potato. No, you don't do that. You uplift other women, uplift other people, not to feed the ego, but to live in beauty. Beauty is a state of mind. It's not physical. Taking a gap year before uni, any recommendations of places to travel to? Yes, I would highly recommend, and I'm just doing my contour. I do kind of a V shape almost here in my nose. My nose curves. I have a deviated septum, so my nose curves a bit. Counter the curvature by kind of going inwards, and then I do these little lines, a little bit more defined. I really don't change it too much. I just kind of define the lines that are already there, and that's all it is. Just makes the nose look a little bit more streamlined. So I would recommend you travel to Colombia, Cartagena, beautiful city, very safe. Great food, great atmosphere, great beaches. Also Rome, I love Rome. I was there this summer, beautiful. Tokyo, please go to Tokyo, go to Japan. I love Japan. Paris is a bit of a hit or miss for me sometimes, but I really loved Rome. Beautiful city, very touristy, but it's a great city. But go to Colombia, I love Colombia. And I might be a little bit biased there. What's my aspiration in life for your future kids? My Anastasia, Beverly Hills. I just bought this one. It's so beautiful. This is the Peachy Love. I've been looking for a peach blush. I've been using a lot of pink, kind of coral blushes, but now I want more peach. So this is right up my alley. So I'm gonna take some of this, and I always take the blush kind of high up to lift the cheekbones. My aspiration in life, I do want to have a family. I do want to have children, just not right now. My sister just had a baby, so I'm getting adjusted to being an auntie, which is so beautiful. He's the most beautiful boy I've ever seen in my life, and not just because I mean, everyone says how beautiful he is, but he is just the sweetest thing. He's gorgeous, and I love him. I'm seeing how my sister, you know, it's her first baby, she's 30, so I'm seeing how she's adjusting to it and seeing how life is for her. That's kind of told me, okay, I'm not really ready for kids right now. I'm 25, so I can give it a good 5 years till I have a child, I would say. Family's very important to me, and I think that my calling in life is to be a mom eventually. And you know, of course, those ideas will change. Sometimes they change with life, but I used to not want children, to be quite honest. I used to kind of shun the idea, but I think that, you know, maybe one day if I find the right man, I will get married and have couple kids. I would like to have about 2 kids, probably a boy and a girl. So that's the skin done. What inspires you to change your look? Always so old Hollywood goddess. Thank you. So I do love the old Hollywood look, as you guys know, the wing liner, the lashes, the arched brows. In high school, I was obsessed with old Hollywood. I was obsessed with Marilyn Monroe, Rita Hayworth. I still love them, you know, still a huge inspiration of mine. I just didn't like the modern look at the time, in the early 2010s, you know, this era. Now we're getting more people, you know, playing with their look, being more creative with their looks. But growing up in high school, I loved the old Hollywood look. I was obsessed with Turner Classic Movies. I would watch old movies all the time, from the 30s, 40s, 50s. I've always been inspired by that era. By the 40s, I love 40s fashion, the silhouettes. I love how empowered the women were, even though they're very feminine. And of course, there's a lot of sexism back then. The female characters in a lot of these movies were very strong and very smart, and I loved that. Also, the heavy makeup look doesn't look good on my face. Like the smoky eyes, all that doesn't look good on me. It just doesn't look like me. And the old Hollywood look is more, fits my face, fits, you know, I have more of a rounder face shape. So I didn't even tell you guys what I put on my lips. This is my favorite lip liner of life. This is the Milani Statement Lip Liner in Spice. It makes the lips look nice and lush. Then I will go in with, I usually go in with this Fenty Beauty. This is a straight orange lip color for the summer, but it is transitioning beautifully for fall. So I keep using it. All I do is just dab it right over the top, and it gives us that nice peachy look, which goes good with my skin. I find that reds are nice on my skin, but oranges and corals, I love Audrey Hepburn's lipstick in Breakfast at Tiffany's, gorgeous. I also love 70s hair. So that's it for my face, guys. That's it for my my makeup. I am done. This is basically what I would do if I go out, if I film. I don't always get glammed up like this every day. Most of the time I'll just do mascara, brow gel, blush, concealer, lipstick, that's it. I can tend to be very low maintenance, but this is, if I'm gonna film or if I'm going out having dinner or whatever it might be, this is it. So yeah, I'm inspired by the 70s, by the 60s. I love that also, like the beachy 70s vibe, the effortless look. I was absolutely obsessed with Marilyn. I studied her makeup, all the tricks that she used to use. I used to do really heavy over contoured makeup that was in style like back in 2015. And then I stopped because I realized that it didn't look like me. I didn't like changing, looking so different for myself. So this helps enhance just what I already have. I can answer a few more questions since I'm done here. Invaluable love lessons you learned the hard way. Never beg anyone to love you, and don't change yourself. Don't hide parts of yourself that you love to make other people love you or to make other people comfortable. In my past relationships, I had partners who were very jealous of me, and you know, because I was on social media, which like, whatever. I had partners who were just jealous of how I was and how I was putting myself out there, how I take photos, how I dress. So I realized, you know, I'm not gonna shrink myself to make other people comfortable or to, you know, fit anybody else's insecurities. And I feel like whenever somebody doesn't accept you for who you are and you allow them to not accept you for who you are and you allow them to try to change you, it's a form of self-hatred, of killing what's beautiful and what's important about you. And also realizing this, that if somebody doesn't see your worth, it's not your job to show them your worth. It's not your job to try to prove yourself, just move on. And also be aware of love bombing. Love bombing is when somebody's like super loving and amazing at the beginning, and it's a form of manipulation, which I would recommend a lot of you women to, or men too, you know, it's not just women, men as well. So that you'll trust them and you'll fall in love quickly and fast, and then they'll start treating you bad later on. There's a lot of manipulative people out there, which is why boundaries, knowing your worth, treating yourself right, and having standards are so important, because there are people who take advantage of nice people. And me, I've been very nice in my relationships, and I will always be nice. I won't let past hurts stop me from loving again. Never, I won't. I'll always be open to love and not be closed off to it. And also I learned not to be afraid of love. Love is a beautiful thing. How to break up with a boyfriend after 3 years of a relationship. Well, understand this, if you don't break it off now, you're gonna spend more time. It doesn't matter how long you've been with this person or the history or whatever. If they're no longer treating you nicely, if they are hurting you or making you feel bad about yourself or alienating you from your family, from yourself, from what makes you you, if you're not happy and fulfilled, or you've fallen out of love, leave. Because the only thing you're gonna do is waste more time and feel even more resentful towards this person. So try to leave before it becomes toxic, before there's cheating, before there's lies, before you hurt somebody, before somebody gets hurt. It's better to walk away. You're gonna feel sad for a while, they're gonna feel sad for a while, but you're gonna realize it was the best decision. And all you have to do is wake up one day and say, this is the day I'm going to say, I'm walking away. Don't overthink it so much. If it's something you know that you want, you know it's the right decision, you don't really have to explain it to anyone. Just say, I'm sorry, this is not working out. I want you to find somebody who's going to love you and who's going to be better for you, because I'm not going to be that person. Be open, be blunt, be honest. We save ourselves a lot of heartbreak and a lot of time wasted by just being honest with ourselves and with the people around us. How do you stop fixating on a thought you are trying to manifest? I can't seem to stop. Keep yourself busy. And even start focusing on manifesting other things. Once you have done a manifestation ritual or visualization, you can start focusing on other things you want to manifest. Think of your life as a pie chart. And a lot of times we put too much importance on other things like relationships. We put a huge piece of the pie of our life in relationships, and then the other parts of our life dwindle. So work on yourself, work on your hobbies, your goals, focus on enjoying your life, because if you're just sitting around waiting or being impatient, then you're going to block the manifestation. So the best thing to do is forget about it by focusing on other things, keeping yourself busy with friends, with family, with ventures. The universe's timing is always perfect. The only thing that blocks the universe from bringing these things into our life is our own beliefs and our own limitations and our anxieties. Those will block these wonderful things. So just keep yourself busy. Know that it's coming to you. Don't sit on your phone scrolling through social media. Go out for a walk. Go work out, go hang out with a friend, go read a book, go dance around. Blasting music in your house and dancing around, that's so therapeutic and will just kind of get you out of your mind, because know this, our minds tend to latch on to something and make it bigger than it actually is. Again, the ego. Just relax, enjoy your life, have fun, and know that everything's gonna work out in your favor. Where do you want to be in life in 5 years? I want to be married and I want to be a millionaire. I'm not there yet, but I'm working towards that. Money and these goals are not necessarily just to be able to spend. I'm not really into designer things. I just want to continue building my business and helping my family. That's probably the #1 thing. I want to help my parents when they're in old age. I want to have the ability to travel, to have freedoms, building my empire, and I want to have my empire, you know, really strong and really great by the time I'm 30. That's what my 20s are for, I feel like, is building. So I'm building right now, and hopefully in 5 years when I'm 30, I will have the fruits of my labor, which I've already seen a lot of the fruits of my labor. I'm very grateful for that, but of course, I always, you know, keep pushing, keep going forward. Maybe have a child by then. Inner peace is always something that I work towards. I love it. Advice I'd give my 21-year-old self. Stop drinking, stop worrying about insignificant things. What's bothering you now won't matter in a year from now, 5 years from now. Focus on your goals, keep working, drown out the noise, and get disciplined. Rewrite your story, I would tell my 21-year-old self. Stop playing into the false notions of the past. Focus on the future, on what you want. Stay manifesting. But definitely stop partying and drinking so much. I mean, you can party and celebrate and have fun, but I was overdoing it. I was overdoing it since from 18 to 22, I would say, or 21, I was just wild. But I'm glad I went through that, because now I know I'm more grounded now. I'm more mature, I feel, because I got all that wildness out early, and now I'm more grounded in myself. Alien spirits, ghosts, and thoughts. Answer this last question. I do believe in aliens. I think it's kind of silly to believe that we're all alone in this vast universe. I think that's very egocentric of us to believe that. I definitely believe there is life out there. There are moons out there. I think it's called Europa. One of the moons of one of the planets in our solar system actually has ice, which means there's water beneath, and usually water means life. So I do believe that there are aliens, and I also believe that there are time travelers as well. And usually these UFOs we see, I believe, can be time travelers from another time, but they can't interact with us because then they'll change series of events. I believe in ghosts. I have had, you know, paranormal experiences in the past, and not like in a, oh, someone, you know, dark shadow. I've never seen a malevolent ghost, but I have felt energies. Luckily, I've never seen anything, but whenever I was little, I used to feel certain things, certain energies. And I believe there are spirits that still walk among us. We are energy, and energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It simply transfers, it changes. I could go into this whole topic forever, but yeah, I do believe in those things. I believe there is so much more than what our naked eye can see. Animals see these things. By the way, how did the Area 51 raid go? Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you guys want me to do more makeup videos, let me know. I'm just kind of weary about doing them because, like I said, I am more of a spirituality channel. I don't like to talk about fashion too much and all that stuff, because to me it's not really important. I just express myself how I like, and I think we should all feel free to express ourselves the way we like, present ourselves the way we like. But of course, if you guys want tips, whatever, I'm not an expert, but I can always give you guys what I know. So if you like the video, hit thumbs up, and also feel free to subscribe to see more videos from me, and also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram and Twitter. Links are always in the description. And also I have a podcast called Taking Back Your Power if you guys are interested. And yeah, I love you guys so very much. Always remember this special thing. No matter who you may be in this life, no matter what you may look like, no matter what you're dealing with, no matter your current circumstances or who you are in this life, your true beauty, your true worth, and your true power always come from within. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.